Testing. Yeah, there it is. He said the wireless mic, and I went to the two wired mics, of course. Man doesn't listen. Hi there.
Hello.
I'm Robert Axelrod. Thank you for coming. Thank you. And this is the best of Robert Axelrod, where I'm going to screen some footage, answer some questions if you have them. I hope you have questions. And do a running commentary of what you're going to see. I started out in voiceovers in 1980. I had my first job, and it just blossomed from there. I was working on camera. I still work on camera a lot, and so this is we're going to see some Power Rangers stuff. We're going to see some Digimon stuff and some other stuff that I managed to get on DVD. And we'll have a good time for an hour. Anybody have any questions right off the bat? Yeah.
What was it like working in Power Rangers?
It was like a living. It was a great job. It was fun. And it didn't take up all my time, so I was able to do other things. And the first year I actually wrote for the show. I wrote the dialogue that was to be dubbed into English, because I had written a lot of ADR scripts. It's called ADR, Automated Dialogue Replacement, is the fancy term for dubbing. So we like to say ADR, for Automated Dialogue Replacement. So that's the name of that tune. Then when I got Lord Zed, I was too busy doing Lord Zed to write. So they gave it to other people. But I got a nice writer's credit for a year and a half, 2 years. Let's see. So I started out doing Finster on the show. And about a year and a half later, they started looking for a new bad guy. And I asked if I could audition for Lord Zed. And Scott Page, the producer, the post-production supervisor, said, yeah, sure. And I had to audition 3 times for Lord Zed, because they didn't believe it was me. They had nobody else that they liked. They liked me for it, but they didn't believe it was me, because all through my Saban career, which was, I'd been at Saban like for 9 years. I always did like upper register characters. Upper vocal register characters, so they didn't believe that I could get down and do Lord Zed and keep doing it, do it constantly. They didn't believe I could do this for 6 years, because that's what they were planning for Lord Zed. It was not. I had no idea. I thought Lord Zed was going to be in and out in 10 episodes or something, like all the other Death Monsters. We had no idea they were getting rid of Rita, but because they didn't like to tell us anything that was going on. We just sort of went and did our lines. I had to ask for a synopsis of the episode I was working on, so I'd know what I was talking about. Okay, so we're going to see the first clip. Can we dim the lights? Nope, that's not working. The light switch is, there it is. Is that it? No. You're kidding. Is that a light switch?
It's one of these switches.
Oh no, you gotta dim the lights. Is that white thing it? What's this? Oh, there we go.
Okay.
That's good. Can you bring it down more? Yeah, that's good. That's good. Beautiful. Okay, the first thing we're going to see is the classic Mighty Morphin Power Rangers introduction. This is the third season, so you'll see the 3 new Rangers in this, and Lord Zed. Okay, fire away. Bring the sound up a bit. There it is.
I think that's actually late season 2 because I don't see
late
Rita.
Season 2?
Because it's not. I don't see Rita. That's actually mid to late season 2 because I don't see Rita and there's no Ninja Zords. It's no Thunder Zords.
Oh, all right. So late season 2?
Mid to late season 2. After transfer, before Rita came back.
Oh, yeah, it was before Rita came back for sure. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Late season 2. All right. Any questions? Yes, sir.
If you could say anything to Tommy Oliver, Jason David Frank, what would you tell him right now?
Well, say that again?
I said, if you could say anything to Jason David Frank, the guy who originally played Tommy Oliver, what would you say?
How you doing? He's a good friend. I mean, he's not a good friend. I don't hang out with him because he lives in Texas. But I get along well with all of the Rangers when I see them. I don't know if he's going to do Power Morphicon. It takes a good deal of oomph to get him out to do the convention. But we got Power Morphicon coming up in August in Pasadena, California. Yes?
I have a question. Did the people who made the intro, did their minds exploded from the sheer awesomeness of it?
Did their minds explode?
Did their minds explode, the people who made the intro, from the sheer awesomeness of the intro?
I'm sure it did. I cleaned up the entrails. Yes, sir.
Did you ever get to wear the Zed suit?
No, it was too small for me. I used to be 5'9" before I got scoliosis, so I was pretty tall. The suit was actually made for the stuntman, Ed Neal, who did a nice job for the most part with Zed physically, but he was 5'5" or 5'6", so the suit was just too small for me to get into. I would have liked to have tried it, but what the hell? I had fun doing the voice. Another question? Yes?
Have you ever made prank calls as Zed to places?
Have I ever what?
Done prank calls?
Oh, prank calls? No, I'm not into prank calls. Nah. I'm always afraid they won't know who it is. I don't know if I'm that well known. Well, maybe I will. Maybe I'll try it someday. I usually don't have the time. Yeah.
Have you ever run into like fans like in the middle of the day and you just tell them like randomly like, by the way, I'm Lord Zed, and they just freak out or something?
Yeah. Well, nobody recognizes me because unless they've actually been to a convention or seen me in the newspaper, because they recognize the character Lord Zed. They don't recognize me. I get stopped on the street for. I do work on. I don't know if you get it out here. The Tim and Eric show, and on the Cartoon Network, the Adult Swim Cartoon Network. Did you get that out here? Yeah, I do work on that show, and check it out with Dr. Steve Brule, the John C. Reilly spinoff. I'm the newscaster, Terry Bruce Hiplo. So I get stopped for that a lot, but not for Lord Zed. But if I ever, like if I'm introduced to a little kid whose parents know me, they always freak out when they hear the voice. They light up. So it's very rewarding for that. Another question? Yes, sir, man in the mask.
Okay, so while recording your voices for Lord Zed, were you able to interact with...
Gotta go louder.
While you were recording your voices for Lord Zed, were you able to interact with the other Rangers in order to see how certain scripts should be read?
Was I ever in contact with the other Rangers? Yeah, occasionally we crossed paths. Testing. Oh, there it is. They used to bring us in one at a time to just do our line after line after line after line. So occasionally I'd run into them if they were in the session before me or they were working in another studio, but we never actually worked together except when we did the live show. Did anybody see the live show? Yeah, great. There were two casts. One went out to the east part of the country, the other went out to the west part of the country. And we recorded the soundtrack to that in one long 12-hour session. So we were all working together. We all sat in a big circle with microphones and music stands and did the work. So that time we all worked together. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time. So that's the only time we actually worked together. Another question? Okay, let's move on to Lord Zed's famous first appearance. This is edited somewhat.
I am Lord Zed, Emperor of all the sea. You have failed to complete the mission assigned to you. I will now resume command. Prepare the fans for my return.
If you notice, they don't shoot Rita full on. I'll tell you why after this.
I welcome you back, my emperor. Identify yourself. Excellency, surely you remember me, Goldar, your faithful servant. Ah, yes, Goldar, the groveling one. I surrender myself to serve and obey you only. It is good to have you back, Lord Zed. Your spineless, sniveling attitude leads me to believe you will serve me well. Yes. For that, I shall restore to you what was once taken away. Lord Zed, I thank you. You will not regret this. See that I don't. Now, where are the earthlings that the incompetent Rita Repulsa was unable to defeat?
Oh, Lord Zed, give me another chance. I will not fail again.
Quiet! Those Power Rangers are nothing but mere infants. You were defeated by children. You dare call yourself an Empress of Evil? You are not fit to destroy a cockroach. I have always said that, my lord.
You gold-bellied rat!
You have made me very angry. Your putties are as useless to me as you are. I have my own army of putties, the likes of which you have never seen. Of course. Observe, you simpering fool. And now to energize them.
Okay, this is Lord Zed's first appearance. If you notice, thank you. I pay him to do. No, I'm kidding. If you notice, they didn't shoot Rita full on. For this Rita, they did not use any original footage because they didn't have the footage. Because Lord Zed was a totally Saban American invention. There was no Japanese footage for Lord Zed. So I think they got a gal from the accounting department to do this Rita. They eventually hired an actress when they brought Rita back full on, named Carla Perez, who was younger than the original Rita. And they gave Rita, huh?
Machiko Soga.
Say again?
Machiko Soga, I believe is her name, the Japanese actress's name.
Oh, the original.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. But Carla Perez played the second Rita, and of course Barbara Goodson did the voice, and Barbara was going English to English, which is just as hard to do ADR as English to Japanese. Harder in a sense, because you got to be exact. So Barbara had a good, but it was actually easier than doing the original Rita. It was very tough to dub the original Rita. So they got Carla Perez to come back, and they gave Rita a potion to turn her younger, so she'd be more attractive to Lord Zed. So that's the name of that tune. I don't know, they didn't have any bedroom scenes, which was disappointing. That would be something to behold. Anyway, any questions? Yes.
When Lord Zed first appeared, how many children ran out of their living room screaming?
I don't know. He just appeared on television. There was no screening. Unfortunately, there was no screening. But what did happen was they got cards and letters and phone calls from parents after a while complaining that Lord Zed was giving their kids nightmares. And so Saban, at the time in the early and mid-90s, political correctness was in fashion. So Saban, trying to be politically correct, dumbed the character down by bringing in Rita and having them get married and having some comedy between the two. And that seemed to mitigate the violence, the supposed violence that, yeah.
But notably, as Linkara is pointed out in History of Power Rangers, by the way, have you watched that thing, History of Power Rangers by Linkara?
Watch what?
History of Power Rangers, that web series by Linkara. Anybody?
No, I haven't seen that.
You can watch it for free.
When is it on?
It's a web series. You just go to atopthefourthwall.com and watch it.
To what.com?
Atopthefourthwall.com.
Atopthefourthwall.com.
Yeah,
You hear that, everybody? Okay.
And the question, he mentioned that, after Lord Zed married Rita, Zed actually accomplished much more, because all he did before, his only real victory was destroying the Green Ranger powers.
Yeah.
After Zed and Rita got married, they destroyed the old Zords, destroyed the new Zords and powers, wrecked the command center.
This man knows what he's talking about.
All of it. And did a lot of, almost killed Kimberly, did a lot.
Yeah, that's right. I have that on tape. I have that on, we'll see that next, in fact. Oh, no, not next.
That's Serpentera.
Yeah, that's Serpentera. Any other questions? Yes.
Yeah, what did you think about the change of tone when they brought back Rita Repulsa later on?
I didn't think much of it. I thought it was I was having a good time being evil on my own. I didn't like the idea of marrying Rita and having a comedy, but it worked out all right. They were still pretty mean. I wanted to keep the integrity of the character, the wholeness of the character. He was wholly mean, so out for gain, out to take over the world. That was his goal. So a microcosm of that, take over Angel Grove. So I wanted to keep that integrity, and so. But it worked out well. It was fun working with Barbara again, because we had done two other series where we were boyfriend and girlfriend in the series. We did Hello Spencer, where we were boyfriend and girlfriend living together without being married, in this puppet show that we dubbed, that we did ADR for. And also, what was the other one? I forget what the other one is. Shit. It'll come to me. Barbara knows, I'll call her. Anyway, that answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Another question? All right, let's go move on to, people have asked me what are my favorite Lord Zed episodes, and some of the favorites are Lord Zed and Serpentera, which was Lord Zed's Zord. That was my Zord, Serpentera, and he was a big thing. And so this is Lord Zed and Serpentera. Oh, Lombard Hiss is about as mean as Lord Zed. That's me on a good hair day. I gotta make him big, and Lombard Hiss was a little creep. I gotta make it bigger, because my Lord Zed is gonna be big like Darth Vader. So I took these guns and I put it down in the diaphragm, like this, and I took deep breaths, and I did very brightly, and with the Power Rangers, the earth shall be mine. And I became Lord Zed.
So that's all it takes to get rid of 3 Power Rangers. I could destroy the rest with my eyes closed. Don't even think about it, Goldar. As soon as my newest demon of destruction is fully energized, I will destroy the Power Rangers myself. They are apparently headed towards the farthest galaxy at light speed. The farthest galaxy? What could they be possibly going there for? Maybe a vacation? When I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. They've got to be going after the Sword of Light. That old fool Zordon thinks he's going to transfer the power to 3 new Rangers. Is Serpentera fully energized? Armed and ready! The first mission will be to destroy the Sword of Light. Squint, Babu, take the sleep machine to Earth. With the whole planet knocked out, Zordon will never be able to find new Rangers! Of the universe, and be famous, or better yet, infamous. Power levels at maximum, on course for the deserted planet. Soon, we'll wipe it out of the universe, along with the Sword of Light. Full speed ahead! A mosquito! Ah, you're wasting your time, Red Ranger! A message from Earth Eagleness. Someone is trying to destroy the sleep machine! Stop the floater! Send in the buddies immediately! Find that statue and destroy it! Before Lord Zed. Goodbye, Power Rangers!
All right. Wreaking havoc with Serpentera. Partying down. With Goldar at the controls. Questions? Comments? Yes, sir.
You know how they're doing a new movie with Rita in it, correct?
Yes.
If they were to make a second movie, would you be willing to come back as Zed?
Sure. If the money was right and the deal was right. I don't know if Zed's maybe in the movie they're making now. I don't know. Could be. I know Rita is. Supposedly, the actress Elizabeth Banks is playing Rita, is what I hear. The latest. It was supposed to be Meryl Streep. It was supposed to be this and that. We'll see. But they did announce the Rangers, the new Rangers. Nice bunch of kids, it looks like. Pretty 21st century. So, anyway, another question? Yeah.
Yes, sir. With the majority of the supervillains at the end of every Power Ranger series, most of them have been destroyed. Do you ever think there will be a future Power Ranger series where Lord Zed and Rita might come back? Because last we saw them, they weren't destroyed. They drove off on the moon in an RV.
Right. Well,
You think they'll ever come back?
I would like to see that happen. Perhaps the movie will influence the TV show. They shoot the show in New Zealand, which doesn't really matter. We can do the voices anywhere. They don't have to fly us to New Zealand to do the voices. They can rent a studio here easily enough to do post-production here. I'd like to see that happen. Who knows? With the movie's popularity, they might segue it into the TV show. We'll see. I know the movie's going to be a hit. Whether it comes out, whether it's going to disappoint the faithful fans because it strays too much from the format remains to be seen. So I wish them the best. They'd do a lot better if they hired me. We all know that, right? Any more questions? Okay, let's go to a famous Lord Zed versus the White Ranger. This is when we get Kimberly, and we capture Kimberly. So this is what was mentioned here. Okay, let's take a look at Lord Zed versus the White Ranger.
She's counting on a bunch of losers, Tommy, because you and the rest of your coward cohorts are going to be enslaved to me.
I can smell victory already!
Are you sure you're not just smelling Rito?
Hey, what do you mean?
I don't smell.
I took a shower last month.
Quiet, you zoo rejects. Everything's going as planned. I have Kimberly's power coin. Finster is working on a way to siphon off Ninja's power, combine it with the Falcon Zord's technology, and bring our new Zords to life. And all I need is 6 pilots to command them.
Just like the Power Rangers.
Yes, of course. The Power Rangers. Rito, being around me is really starting to pay off for you. You've done it again. Yes. Who better to pilot the new Zords than the Power Rangers themselves? Yeah.
You've been hanging around my brother too long, Zeddy.
Think with your brain instead of your mouth for a change. We'll force them to pilot our Zords by dangling the Pink Ranger's welfare in front of them. Then we'll make them destroy Joko, and the world shall surrender to life the way you think.
Okay, Zeddy, just how are you going to use the Pink Ranger's condition to force those rainbow-colored rejects to be our own personal fighter?
Patience, my little walnut. Just sit back and be awestruck as you watch my ingenious plan unfold. Those Power Rangers won't know what hit them. Let's sink our teeth into it. Behold, Frankenstein! I love watching those adolescents get polished off.
You do good work, Ed.
Oh, don't you understand it?
It's Zed! Now move out of the way, you big lump! I want to see!
Now, my prickly pear, while Frankenstein is flossing the Rangers, it's time for you to summon Kimberly's feline friend.
Yes! And lure the Pink Ranger out! I knew that kitty would come in handy!
Am I terrific, or am I terrific? Little Ranger, catnap time is over. Finster has finished powering up our Zords.
Zeddy! I still don't understand how you're going to get the Rangers to pilot them!
Yes, your lordship, how? That is the most delicious part of my plan. To know the answer, you must think big. I'll explain. Oh, think big. That's a good one. As we speak, I'm training the
clue.
Your precious Pink Ranger is here with me. I'm having a wonderful time draining all the power out of her body. It's quite a spectator sport. By the end of today, she will no longer be in the pink. In fact, she'll be history. See, she's already sleeping quite comfortably, which is nice work if you can get it.
I demand that you release the Pink Ranger.
Silence! The only one making demands at this point is me.
What do you want?
Teleport me to your command center and I will tell you in person.
The command center is no place for the evil likes of you.
Do it now or risk harm to your precious Kimberly.
Zordon, we don't have a choice. We have to. For Kimberly.
I agree with your decision, Tommy. Alpha, you may proceed.
Not a bad place. A little tacky. When I take over, I'll have my doggy wife redecorated. Oh, Alpha, you can come out of hiding.
I don't like you, Ed.
It said, you blinking bucket of bolts! Lord said!
Get on with it, Zed. What do you want?
All right, Power Rangers, this is your dilemma. You agree to pilot my new fleet of Zords and do all my evil bidding, or you can refuse my offer, in which case we can all sit around and have a jolly time watching the Pink Ranger race away.
I will never let you get away with this.
Save your breath, Zordon. I'm giving the commands around here. Now, I'll give you a moment to make your decision.
Tom, what do we do? We can't let anything happen to Kimberly. She's one of us.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. Time is up now, heroes. Or should I say, zeros. Oh, zeros. That's a good one. So now, what did you decide? I can't wait to hear it.
Pilot your Zord, Zed.
Wise choice, Rangers. You will report for duty at dusk with your new master, me. Get ready for the ride of your lives. See ya.
I'm gonna get you out of here.
Wrong, Ranger! You tried to double-cross me. Now, you and your precious pink princess will perish together!
Back off, Zed. I'm getting Kimberly out of here. It's morphin' time! White Ranger belt! Okay, Zed. I'm ready for you.
I'm far more powerful than you could ever handle, White Ranger!
We'll just have to see about that now, won't we?
Are those hi-hats really necessary? Here, I'll do something. Come and get me. You missed me.
Is that the best you can do?
You're going to be sorry you said that. Wait till I tell your pink friend how much courage you had at the end.
It doesn't matter what happens to me, Zed. Kimberly and I may not get out of here, but you'll never be allowed to win.
Down on your luck, Tommy!
Get serious than this, Zed. Bullseye, yes.
Not quite.
It's just like you, cold and slimy.
Why, you power parasite, you'll pay for that!
We still have the Pink Ranger, don't we?
The White Ranger broke my staff and then made off with Kimberly.
Great. There goes our trump card.
Oh, give me that. They haven't beaten us yet. I still have control of the Zords. They will respond only to my evil command.
Oh, those Rangers ruined everything!
They broke my staff. They stole my swords. This job used to be fun. I want them to pay for making me so miserable.
They already have in a way. We still have Ninja trapped in a bottle. And Sweetie by Kimberly's power coin. Those Rangers are weakened. Huh?
Okay, there it is. Good long segment. The only time Lord Zed came down to meet Tommy, I don't know whether that takes place on Earth or in the moon, that fight. I forgot. Anyway, where's our expert? He's gone. Anyway, any questions? Yes, sir.
Okay, so it seemed like you were able to have a lot of fun playing
Louder?
Lord Zed.
Go loud.
It seemed like you had a lot of fun playing Lord Zed during those scenes. How much freedom did you have with the character?
I had a good amount of freedom. The question is, how much freedom did I have with the character? I tell you, Ed Neal, the stuntman, used to did the lines while he was doing the physical action, and he spoke the lines way too quickly. So I had to deal with that. I didn't want Lord Zed to speak quickly. I want him to speak slow and purposefully, and sort of like modeled after Darth Vader, who was hot at the time. You steal from the best, right? So we had to constantly edit the dialogue, so it was so I could speak, I could use my pace and still get the gist of what he was saying out, and the physical movements. And if Lord Zed pounded his staff, then you had to say something emphatically, like, I'm going to get them, or something like that. So we had that challenge, and so I had that freedom to rewrite, and if we had a new writer on the playing field, and wrote a couple of lines that Lord Zed would never say, I just say, Lord Zed would never say that, and we cut it. Or Lord Zed wouldn't say it like that, and we rewrite it. So Scott Page, the producer and director, was a good friend of mine, so we were able to work together. I had a lot of freedom. We were racquetball buddies, so I had a lot of freedom with the character. Within the confines, of course, of the physicality of the thing. Yes?
All right, so Lord Zed's laugh is pretty iconic. How vocally exhausting doing that character was it? You know, if you had like to record a certain number of episodes a week or something like that, how much drain did that take on your voice?
Not too much strain. As voiceover artists, our job is to pick a voice, if we're going to be doing it for a while, that is not going to strain your throat. You have to take care of your instrument. So I was careful to choose a voice that I was able to maintain. That was the whole thing why I had to audition for 3 times, because they were wondering whether I could maintain that kind of voice consistently throughout the whole run of Lord Zed, because they had plans for Lord Zed, which I had no idea they did. So that's why they auditioned me 3 times. So I could do that voice all day and not strain my throat. It's because I guess I smoke a certain amount of cigarettes a day, that knows, and it's producing it from the diaphragm. When you go from the diaphragm, you can do no wrong. When you're going up just strictly on the throat, you can hurt your throat. So you got to know how to use your instrument. So there it is. Yes, sir.
Yeah, did you get to see what the makeup and the costume for Zed was going to look like before you decided how you were going to do the character?
No, I didn't see a picture of him. There was a description, but no picture. So I was going on just my imagination and figuring that he would be sort of like Darth Vader, who was hot at the time. And like I say, he's still from the best. So I figured Lord Zed, he'd be lordly. Otherwise, why would they call him Lord Zed? So that's the regal sort of Shakespearean accent I used. Very well spoken. And so that's where that came from. So, yeah, that's what I had to go on. No picture.
Thank you.
Another question? Yeah.
Were you able to keep any of the props or the costume from the show?
No, they locked them up. I couldn't get my hands on anything, damn it. They're probably still locked up in some vault someplace. I don't know of anybody who got anything from the show, any props. They did a good job in secreting those away. Another question? Okay, let us not forget Finster. Finster was my entree into the Power Rangers, so let's take a look at Finster's work. I did my version of Ted Lehman. And Ted Lehman was an old-time actor at Savant. Oh my God! It's time to make some plans. Yes, thank you. And that was very comfortable for me, and I did my. Finster had a few lines every show.
Oh, it's good to be free after 10,000 years.
Finster, hurry up with those putty controllers!
Yes, your evil madness. I'm molding the last putties now. Those putties will make space dust out of those kids. And the beauty is, if they don't, we can always make more. Now, into the monster matic they go. 10 seconds should do it.
Now my putties prepare to get those teenagers! Yoo-hoo! Is anybody home?
Oh, for the good old days. I used to be somebody around here. Monster Maker extraordinaire. Now I'm just held in the way. Rita and I were quite a team. I almost missed her cranky little face. Oh, I wish she were here. Oh.
Then wish no more, my little dog-faced monster!
Who said that?
I, Rita Repulsa, have returned!
Oh!
Don't just stand there fluffing your gums, Finster! Hurry up, come on! Make me grow full size again, will ya?
That's what's different about you. Yes, right away, my queen. I'll use my spectrometry integrator. Here goes nothing.
Nothing's happening! Do something else!
Oh, then I'll try setting it for blend. Or maybe it's puree, or maybe it's all done at once.
I don't care what you do! Just hurry up and make me grow!
I've never turned into 11 before. Here goes.
I won! You did it, my little dingbat! I'm back! Now, Finster, we must talk about my plan of how to rule again.
Yes, of course, my queen. As you can see, I've been busy making monsters. I have dozens of them ready to go.
No! I need a potion, Finster! Have you no brains? That's right! It's such fun to insult you, I'd forgotten! Now!
What sort of potion?
I want a love one!
A love potion? Yes,
Then he'll fall in love and marry me! Then both he and the universe will be ruled by...
All will be yours, my queen.
After I destroy the Rangers!
Yes, as soon as they return from out of town.
What? I can't wait for that! They're going to be my wedding gift to Lord Zed!
I've got it. We can use Alpha 5 to lure them back.
Yes, tell the whole world the good news. Ah, that's better. Hey, what's going on?
Wait, so I can put the disc in. There. Now do as your program, you robot.
Will do, Buckaroo. Whoa, what's going on? Crap! The power breath beat the tangles and Zed is Ranger! Finster!
Yes?
I need a monster pronto!
Shouldn't you wait for Lord Zed?
What am I? Some kind of loser? I used to run this place all by myself! In case you forgot!
Oh, I apologize. I'll get right to it. In fact, I have the perfect monster to keep an eye on them.
And there's Finster. Thank you. I like doing Finster. I really like it. Oh, my queen. It's very comfortable for me, and I like doing it. Any questions? Yes, sir. I can't hear. I wish you had a. Let me touch the mic.
Well, watching people on screen and doing the voice, did you find it hard to keep up with the movements of the mouth for the person running the screen?
Oh, the movements of the mouth? Well, Finster was sort of had a beak, you know, he didn't have a mouth, so it was pretty simple to go just up and down, up and down. There was a knack to it. It was not easy, but I've been doing it for years, so we got through it. It's up to the writer, actually. It's up to the writer to write stuff that syncs, that lip syncs or beak syncs. So I did the writing for the first year and a half of that kind of stuff. So I did my own writing. So that's the key, the writing fits. Yes, sir.
So the fact that Zed himself has no lips, did that make it like easier to like sync it?
Well, yeah, it was easier, of course, but I had to go with his physical movements. So that was the trick there. So, but it was certainly easier to do the dialogue. And Zed had tons of dialogue, especially before Rita came on the scene. I'd be explaining what the show was about through my dialogue. So it's a good thing that there was no lip sync. We got 2 minutes. Another question?
Did you base Finster on anyone you know?
Yeah, Ted Lehman.
Oh.
Ted Lehman was I got a little clip before that. Ted Lehman was an actor who, he played Lexi in Hello Spencer, and he had this sort of snooty voice that he used. So I based it on him. I made Finster not snooty, but in the upper registers. Oh, my queen, I'm going to make you some putty monsters. And sort of British, almost British. So that's the idea I worked off of. Another question?
Did you have a favorite monster that he had made?
Favorite monster? Well, I did 4 monsters. I did Goofish, Eye Guy, the 2-headed parrot, and Grumpo the elf. So I like Grumpo the elf. Grumpo the elf was cool. I wish I had some footage for Grumpo the elf. I do have footage for the Goofish, but we won't have time to see it. Do we have time for another clip to put the other one in? No, we don't. All right. Well, next time we'll see the other stuff. Maybe the next panel I do, I'll show the other stuff. Any more questions? Final comments? Well, thank you all for coming. I'll be back in the dealer's room doing, the vendor's room doing autographs, so come see me there. And I don't know when my next panel is. Let's see. Is what? Tomorrow at noon? Okay. That's the next panel. Maybe we'll screen the second disc on that. Okay, thanks very much for coming.